All right, folks. So yesterday, August 30th, 2024, the Fulton County Sheriff came out and said that there was a walk-off of employees who were sponsored by a private company, and that private company was disingenuine, and Fulton County owes that private company about $1 million in back pay. So we're going to see here what this private company CEO has to say and what's his side of the story. The full length of the video. The video is about half an hour. The full length is available online. I'm just gonna go anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. Listen to it and see what it is that he has to say.
Services at the Fulton County Sheriff. We will not be taking any questions during this statement, so please hold all questions until after the statement is complete. Once again, my name is Joe Sordi, S-O-R-D-I, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Strategic Security Corp. This contract has started on or about July 1st, 2023, to provide security guard supplemental services to the Fulton County Jail. That's approximately 80 security guards. It initially started at 40 and has ramped up to 80 to provide supplemental duties to the deputies performing the jail services. These are non-direct contact services with the inmates. These are ancillary services such as doorways, entrances, and exits. Immediately in the contract negotiations, the Fulton County Jail requested that we pull back a clause regarding non-solicitation of our employees. Typically, we have that in every type of contract. Every security provider does, whereas a company cannot solicit for direct hire your employees. It was conveyed to us that they wish to remove that part of the agreement so that if a security guard wanted to elevate his career and become a sheriff's deputy, he could. So barring that exclusion, we acquiesced and we were amendable to removing that clause so that there could be an advancement of one's career into a deputy public sector position, which obviously would pay more and there's greater longevity. So barring that, there is nothing that we would agree to as far as a solicitation clause. Almost immediately, the Fulton County Sheriff's Office fell behind in payments in excess of 90 days. And despite non-payment, we continued to pay all of our employees and have payroll records to prove that all of our employees were paid weekly for the past year while we were waiting for payment from Fulton County Jail. We have in excess of 75 to 100 documented phone calls and emails to representatives of the Fulton County Jail, the mayor's office, the governor's office, the board of commissioners, requesting payment for said services. Negotiate
75 to 100 payment, 75 to 100 calls or emails to government officials within Fulton County or Georgia, to get these people their back pay after having not been paid for a year. This is a county within the United States of America, and I think truly that this is the beginning of a long list of counties, cities, states, municipalities to follow. This reckless behavior, overspending, the checks and balances in government being completely out of whack, everyone thinking that there's a limitless amount of money to be spent, that we can just print money and there'll be no consequence. This is the consequence of that delusion. Okay, delusions of grandeur, that there's this limitless pile of cash that we could just continue to tap into until there isn't, and then we start looking around and scramble. All right, so it's just the beginning of what follows. Let's see what else he has to say.
Negotiations and deadlines for the suspension of services began way back in February of 2024, when it was apparent that the county jail was not able to fulfill its end of the agreement and pay for services. Being a former law enforcement officer and a public servant, it was with a heavy heart that we had to set a deadline for a drop dead date if we were to pull out of this contract. We gave them till March 28th to provide an answer if they're able to come up. I'm sorry, not March 28th, August 28th, to provide an answer if they're able to come up with funding for the project. We had several communications to them throughout the course of the day. The deadlines came and passed. Then on March 28th, as it was looming, the definitive deadline, the drop dead date where we were going to suspend services, we finally got communication back and engaged in communication with the Fulton County Jail.
So they didn't even get communication on this, he's saying, up until March of this year. So months and months go by with, what's going on, where's the money, you're behind on payments. We can't continue to just provide services for free and on and on. And of course, the sheriff yesterday came out and was like, hey, I believe everybody should get paid for work they did. That's his answer to if this company is going to get paid or not for the work they did, that I believe that everyone should get paid for the work they did. Like I said, then I think that they'll negotiate this out. It would be nice if they were compensated fairly. I hope that that will be the case. I do suspect that they're going to wind up just negotiating it out, and this company is going to take a little bit of a hit, and they'll just leave it at that, right? And like I said, unfortunately, I wish I could say different. I do believe that this is going to continue to be a pattern throughout these United States in these days of companies that they are incorporated. Some of them, when that is cities, states, counties, municipalities, not being able to pay their bills. We got the corrupt mayor somewhere outside of Chicago, Tiffany Hanyard, same thing, right? Other counties and states and municipalities, the recklessness catching up to them. And as usual, right, in any and all circumstance, who doesn't win? The American taxpayer, the American mom and pop shop, the American parent, the American child, the everyday American. That's who continues to not win. So I say, let's take a look at this. Let's hold these government officials accountable, right? Let's start asking questions. Let's start making the hard phone calls. Let's start sending the hard emails. Let's start showing up to these facilities, and let's start to insist that there's some change here, because otherwise there just simply isn't going to be. If it's to be, it's up to you and me. And that's it, folks.